Have a moment just to settle onto your mat. Just getting whatever bits you need. If you want a blanket handy for later on, it's always good to have around, and also as a prop sometimes for a bit of support. So Friday morning, it's a little bit cool. Wrap up warmly. But as we work through our practice, definitely we'll start to sort of feel warmer on the inside as we perhaps do some sequences. So whether you're lying down or seated, we just take a few minutes just to arrive in this space. Physically, of course, but also mentally and emotionally. I think it's lovely to come to your mat, trying to let go of what's been going on in the mind earlier. And emotionally as well, if we can sort of put it outside the room. And this is our time, your me time to tune into you. As you ground your energies, either through the back of your body, your tailbone, or the soles of your feet, just imagine lots of roots going down into the earth. Like trees, have strong roots that keep them steady, and the trunk is solid. But you can also imagine the beauty of the tree having the flexibility in the wind. The branches move. Stability but flexibility. And we'll just take a moment to breathe. So important throughout your day, if you can, just to be aware of your breath and be conscious. For most of your practice you will be, because we are guided to it. But the minute we step off our mat and start the rest of our day, how often are we really conscious of the mechanics of our breath? Probably it's quite rare. Have a moment now just to look through your chakras. We'll start at the root, at the base of the spine, and just simply notice what it feels like here, what the energy feels like, how perhaps you feel emotionally, that instant feeling of what comes up into mind. And then sacral, below your navel, and linking in with your lower back. Your solar plexus above your navel, so this upper digestive system, and the area of the mid part of our back and body. Heart center, anahata, so front of the chest and that mid part of the upper back, all connected with arms and hands as well, heart center. Throat, all around the neck, coming into the lower part of our jaw. And your third eye is this area around your forehead and the face and eyes. Crown, about an inch or so above the top of the head, so sort of outside of the body, this area here, that connection to everything around you, our source energy. It's just nice to reflect momentarily on all of these areas, because if we don't, we might notice something in a shoulder and think, okay, that's heart energy, what's going on there? If you're seated, just come into a lying position. We'll start our stretches. Nice gentle movement to the body before we kind of come into any other strong movement. So on your next inhale, taking that right arm up and over, hand falls to the floor behind, lifting your toes, flex into the foot, and a lovely stretch here. Like that first stretch in the morning, it just feels really good to sort of create some space and open up. So lowering your right hip, pushing the leg down and really reaching up with the right arm and stretching to the palm of the hand. Point your toes on the right side. A lovely stretch over the leg here. And then when you're ready to exhale, just let the arm float down. You don't have to hold the breath when we do that. Still breathe in and out. Have a moment here. Just notice the difference. Does it feel like your right side is sort of marginally longer than the left? And we'll do the same. So inhale, left arm up and over. Toes lifted, flexed foot. And a lovely stretch here. Feel it in your calf muscle and the gentle tension around your thigh and knee. And really lifting through the side ribs around that area and through the arm. Point the toes. Lovely stretch over the foot. And then exhale, arm down. Have a moment here, palms up in Shavasana. And then when you're ready, inhale both arms up and over. And then just enjoy flexing and then pointing your feet and just work the ankles alternately in this movement. Really reaching up. Try not to overstress into the body and stretch. Just enjoy whatever feels natural here. And then exhale, arms down. Already feeling like there's a little bit more movement and room for energy to flow. And now we'll bring the right knee in, hands around the shin, taking a deep breath. And exhale as we come up. Really empty all the air out of the body and looking between the legs, nice stretch through the back here. Hold the breath out. And then when you're ready, inhale, come down. Other side, left knee in. Deep inhale. Exhale up. Feel the belly drop back to the spine. Breath leaves the body. And then inhale when you're ready, come down. And then both knees in. Same again, deep breath. Into the belly and the chest. Exhale as you come up. Holding the breath out for a moment. And then inhale down. Lovely gentle rock here. Massage your back. And then coming up to seated. Grab your meditation cushions if you want to use them to sit on. And we'll work through the warm-up. Paramuktasana 1. Have a moment just to settle in this now seated position. Bring your hands to chin mudra, so first finger and thumb touching, and the rest of the fingers resting out. Have a comfortable length to your spine, not too rigid, but just a lift. And then we'll gently close our eyes. And again, in this position, it's really lovely to imagine roots coming out through the tailbone now into the earth. When you're ready, take the chin down to chest. Literally just a tilt of the head forward. And notice what you're feeling. Today I can really feel some sensation in this stretch here in the upper part of my back. And you may feel it differently each time you do it. So now take the chin up. And just being as slow as you need to be here if there's anything you need to be gentle for. And again we'll do that. So chin down. And then up. Sometimes you can literally just sort of sleep a little bit funny and something is twinged, which I think I've done today, a little pinch in the nerves there. So tilt the head right and left. Take this time just to observe whatever feels different today or similar. Same again, we'll do everything twice. Coming back to centre, twist to gaze over the right shoulder, left, and same again. And just have that little pause when you gaze over the shoulder to notice how that feels. Coming back to centre. And now we'll simply take the chin down and a rotation of the head in each direction. Just once. And really noticing whatever you're feeling. Coming back to centre. Stretch your hands out in front of you and your arms out in front, and then fingers are stretched, and then thumbs in, thumbs out. We're working through all of our joints now, starting with the upper body, the arms. We'll work down to legs, and then palms up, stretch under and over the wrists. Which one feels nicer? Does that even come into your mind, what feels good? And then rotating. Perhaps you can feel this all the way to your elbows. Other way. And you might get a few little clicks, as I am here, through the wrists. Turn the palms up. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, bring fingers to shoulders. Just tune in now. Focus on your elbow joint. Exhale. Inhale as you open. And just one more, leaving the fingers on the shoulders and bringing the elbows together. We'll start to rotate and tune into our shoulder joint. This can definitely be a place where we hold a lot of emotion, a lot of tension. Other way. And release. Coming off cushions, again, just pop them to the side so they're handy for later on. And extending your legs out in front of you. Just pull the pads of your buttocks so that you feel your sit bones connect more to your mat. And then stretching toes and then curling. So feet just rested, working just our toes. And then before we move on here, just relax the feet for a moment and see if you can just move the little toe on your right foot. Can you isolate that single movement? My second toe tends to want to move with it. And now just check in and see what you can do on the left foot. Is it a little bit more controlled or less controlled? It's a curious thing whether we can kind of connect our brain to the lowest part of our body and move it. So now just relax that and then flex and point the feet. One foot over the other, rotating the ankle joint. Both directions, just a few times. We're just warming up all these joints. And other side. There's so many movements in yoga to all parts of the body. It is really quite a wise thing to do to warm up all the joints before we start moving all these areas. Bend your right leg, hands under the thigh, and just move the knee. It hasn't got to be a high movement. Just listen in to how the knee feels, not audibly, but internally. How does the joint feel for you? And then hands around the shin and a gentle movement like we're stirring a pot to become aware of our hip. And other way. We'll do the same the other side. So hands under the left thigh. How's your left knee compared with your right knee? Are they fairly balanced? And then left hip. Just a few times both ways. Draw the feet, the soles of the feet together. We're just coming to butterfly for a moment. Excuse me. And just settle forward into this one. We don't have to be too rigid. I just want you to soften. Allow this lovely stretch on the inner thighs, around the groin, the outer hips. Let your head rest forward and we get stretched through the back and the neck. And just bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe into your belly. And then naturally the breath moves up into the chest. Notice where you feel it more. If you're feeling it more around your hips and outer body, we're stimulating our gallbladder channel. If it's more through the inner part of our thighs and legs, it's liver and kidneys that we're stimulating more. So just lift the body gently, roll the shoulders, and we're going to come to a standing position. For a balance, let's work with root chakra for tree pose. We'll always begin in Tadasana. It's a lovely opening pose, the first pose of yoga, and it allows us to just ground for a moment. Palms face forward in that open, receptive way. Have a lovely lift through your body. And imagine again roots. Always come back to those roots and grounding yourself. So when you're ready, we're going to lean into right leg and then lift to the left. Explore where you want to be. It might be heel to ankle today and just lifting toes. Sometimes if life has really thrown us off balance, we need to be quite low to the floor. Otherwise, below the knee or above the knee. Heel into the thigh. Oops. And then hands to heart center. When you're in this pose, try and find something to gaze at, like a point ahead of you that you can just focus on, what we call drishti. And when you settle into this pose physically, just draw your awareness to your breath. Lovely, and gently release. Notice how much you needed to adjust there. I was needing quite a lot of adjustment in that side, and normally that's a strong side. So let's explore the left. Ground left leg, right leg lifted, wherever you want. And again, focus on a single point you can gaze at. And it's fine for you to really kind of adjust on the sole of your feet. That is your body just bringing yourself into alignment. Breathe to the belly. And notice that as you hold this pose, whether it becomes easier, lovely, and release. Some days you can be in that pose and stay there you could probably do minutes. Other days, very wobbly and needing to come out and come back in. Let's just take the feet a little bit wider, and we're going to inhale, take the arms up and come forward with a lovely swan dive. Exhale as you come down. Let's stretch through the whole back of the body before we move anything else. Have a moment here to dangle like a rag doll, and if you need to bend your knees, please do generously. I'm going to, just to ease through the lower back. Let the arms, as say, become heavy like a rag doll, and shake the head if you want to. Take a few breaths and feel your back ribs expand. And we'll roll up. As you inhale, just come up really nice and slowly, stacking your vertebrae like little blocks. Roll the shoulders. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, a lovely lift. Exhale. Notice if you need to bend your knees as much, whether the second time down there's just a little bit more of a stretch through the body. Again, just dangle here. Well, how does it feel in your lower back? How does it feel in your back ribs? Do your wrists and hands feel heavy? And then inhale, roll up. Nice and slowly. Sometimes just the simplest movements, but with real consciousness, feel so good through the body. We had a full moon the other day and it was beautiful. I don't know if you saw it, so I feel like I want to do a moon salutation. We're now into the waning phase where we let go. This is the phase in the cycle where we just release, let go of stuff. Coming to the top of your mat, hands to heart. Take a lovely deep breath in and arms down, release, exhale. Inhale, salute the moon, and folding forward. We're going to go through this really nice and slowly and sort of almost flow through it like water. Hands to shins, lift the back, straighten the back, looking ahead of you. Hands down, right foot comes back and the knee to mat. And then as you plant yourself down in this lovely sort of lunge and stretch, let's bring the arms up to crescent. Gently, let's float the arms down and into down dog, bringing that left foot back. So down dog, or this is sometimes known as mountain pose as well. Really try and ground the base of your fingers and hands. It doesn't matter if your heels come down or their legs are straight. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, come down, bring the buttocks back to the heels. All on that exhale, and we breathe in now and flow into Sphinx or Cobra. Maybe just a gentle Cobra if it's our first one. Back to down dog. And then left foot forwards between the hands. Coming up into crescent. Hands to mat. Feet at the front of the mat. Linking thumbs, sweep up. Hands to heart. Warming ourselves up a little bit here. So let's do the other side. Deep inhale. Exhale, let release. Inhale, salute the moon. And folding forwards. Flatten the back, look ahead. Left foot comes back now, knee down and up into crescent. Really enjoy that stretch through the hips and the pelvis there. Down dog. Down on the exhale. Flow through on the inhale. Cobra. Exhale to down dog. Right foot forwards. Into crescent. Together at the top of the mat. And sweep up. Hands to heart. Felt good. Good to get the body moving, stretching, opening. We're going to do the other moon salutation as well because it has such different movements in it. So you just come slightly to the right of your centre of your mat. Have a moment just to ground your feet. We'll start with hands to heart as always. And just notice how these two sequences feel differently. Let's inhale. Take the arms up. Exhale, just lean outwards. Inhale through centre and exhale to the left. As we come back through centre, we take the left foot to the side and squat into goddess squat, lowering down. Gently we come up, feeling the thighs move into Trikonasana towards your left. And enjoy this lovely stretch through the side of your body. Really try and open up your right shoulder. Rotate your right hip forward and your right shoulder comes down, so we come into pyramid. Just take a breath here. We're not going to rush through this. Feel that lovely stretch through your calf muscle, backs of your legs. And then gently we come down into, again, this low lunge with the crescent arms. Let's pause here. What do you feel through your hip flexors? Draw your hands down to the inside of your left foot. And we're going to rotate the body round into a sort of a side squat. Toes are pointed up and the knees pointed up. Just take a moment here, breathe into this gorgeous stretch on the inside of your leg. We rotate over to the other side, or rainbow, just a nice little rainbow movement. Again, this is stimulating spleen, liver and kidneys. Come into a low lunge, the other side. Bring the arms up. Lovely stretch here through the legs. Into pyramid. Again, just pause here. Really enjoy what you're feeling. Open up into Trikonasana. Lovely side stretch, gallbladder channel. Into a gentle goddess squat. Bring your right foot to your left. Inhale up. Exhale, lean outwards. Inhale through centre and then inwards. Side stretch to the body. And come center, draw hands to heart. Feels good. Have a moment on the mat. They were gentle sequences. It's not for really to rest the body. It's just to have a moment of reflection. And I think it's the easiest way just to tune into the body when you're just lying on the mat. How do you feel? If you're noticing any existing and remaining tightness, just observe. Perhaps something through the body just feels so much more released and freed up. How do you feel emotionally? Does your spirit feel a little bit lifted? And how is your mind? When was the last time that you thought of the future or the past? Have you been in the present this whole time, just feeling the body, feeling the breath? And that's the beauty of yoga. It just brings you into the now. Got the rest of the day to contemplate other things. So let's draw our knees into chest. Have a nice little rock. Massage your body. And we're going to come into child's pose. And do a little flow with child's to cobra. Again, very gentle, but let's just take a moment in child's pose. You can ball your fists up under your forehead if you don't want it to be so compressive. Or you can bring the forehead down and hands down to feet. This in itself, although it's a restful pose between sequences and poses, it really is a lovely pose just to enjoy for a few moments. It is a deep compression, stretch through the knees and the tops of the feet as well. Very stimulating on your stomach channel that runs along your shin. Let's just take a moment here and breathe. Notice if your belly is very tight and whether you can really release the belly as you breathe. We're going to just slowly lift our head. So bring the hands either side of the head. Lift up slowly so we avoid any dizziness. And then we're just going to extend our hands forward and come into cobra. Just bring the chest quite low. And we're going to flow back as we exhale into child's. We'll just do 3 or 4 of these. When we stretch through our arms, enjoy that stretch around the shoulder blades. Inhale forwards. And we're flexing our lower spine in both directions here. We're using the arms, a little bit of a press up movement. Take it slow and really enjoy all parts of the body that move. Notice how it feels around your wrists and hands, and can you feel your fingertips push into the mat? Extend backwards, notice how the shoulder blades feel, your elbows. We'll just do one more. Inhale as you come into cobra. And exhale as you coming back to child's pose. Have a moment back in child's pose. And actually, let's extend our arms in front of us for this. Take the knees wide and just drop the head down. Have a few breaths. Really nice to feel your rib cage expand through the back. And from here, we'll come into a little upper body twist. So take your left arm underneath your right. Thread the needle. And other side. So extend your left arm back in front of you. Take your right arm underneath your left armpit. And just gently twist the body to look towards the hand. This is lovely for your upper back stretch. If you're holding a lot of tension there, this feels good. Gently come back to the centre, stretching both arms out, forehead down. And we're going to come into a nice plank pose. If you can't do a full plank, please keep your knees down, especially if your lower back is tender. This does work the whole body, so you can just come into this sort of position. But if you're ready and you can, come into full plank. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Really engage through the front of your body and your abdomen. I'm going to take a few breaths here. And then if you can, gently lower down, chaturanga. This is a real sort of like a slow push up. Let's come down. And make a pillow with your hands. And just have a moment to rest. We're going to come up again and do side planks. But just take this moment to reflect and observe in how your heartbeat is. How you feel in the lower back. So let's come back into plank position. Come up onto your knees first and then find your pose. So we're going to bring the left hand into centre and rotate the right arm up into side plank. Just seeing how this feels. Other side, so bring your right hand to a centre point and then rotate the other way. Strong arms. Lovely. Bring your hands back to an equal spacing apart. And again, nice and slowly, using the arms, really lower down slowly. And then rest. Make a pillow with your hands. Take a nice sigh on your exhale. And feel your heartbeat going against the mat, perhaps. If you want to push back gently into child's pose, please do. Arms extended or to your feet, whatever you prefer. Maybe you just like to rest your forehead on your fist so it's a nice loose and soft child's pose. And just breathe into your lower back. And then gently lifting your head. Nice and slowly. From here, we're just going to do a little baby camel. So bring your hands behind you. This is a really lovely soft version of camel pose. I really like this one. It's not too intense on the body. Just let the head rest back, if that's comfortable. Nice open chest. And then when you're ready, just lifting the head up and coming up into this kneeling position. This in itself is a lovely pose that we do in yin. It's called Caesar, and it's a really lovely stretch for your knees and the tops of your feet as well. Let's come into a seated position. Extend the legs out to the side. And we'll enjoy some floor work, seated stretch. When you're ready, inhale, take the arms up. Have a gentle flex in your feet as well. And then exhale, coming forward with a nice kind of flat back. On the inhale, we lift gently through our body, and your body will naturally, when you inhale, and the exhale is the opportunity to soften into this pose. We'll do this in a Hatha way, but it's also really nice to experience in a yin essence as well. We'll do that shortly. This pose you'll feel through the inner part of your leg, spleen, liver, kidneys. And just notice where you are on your threshold with this stretch. Whether you're really pushing into it or whether you're just being very nurturing and gentle with your body today. As we release the feet, just come into a yin style with this one now. Just for a few breaths. Relax your feet, take the flex out of your feet and take the rigidity out of your spine. Just let the head roll forwards. And as you relax your legs into a really passive way, no engagement in muscle, your legs may roll a little and just enjoy the softness of this stretch now. Let the head become heavy, that the spine can round, your shoulders can round. Draw the hands back towards your body so there's a bend in your elbow. Everything is soft. Taking deep breaths into your belly. And still noticing if there's tension in your leg. Quite often there is, and you have to keep letting go. When you're ready, just breathe in, lift the body up. We'll fold the left foot into the centre. And again, come back into a Hatha energy with the foot of your right foot flexed. Turn the body towards that foot. Inhale, lovely long spine, lift up. Exhale, come forwards. We're engaged. The muscles are active here in Hatha. You can feel that lovely stretch in the left side of your waist. And you may feel this a lot more through your hips and the outer part of your body, so gallbladder. If you're feeling it through the back of your leg, which you probably naturally will, you're stimulating your urinary bladder channel as well here. So just gently relax the flex in your foot now and come into a yin energy. Hands draw back, everything softens around the head and back. Passive. No muscle tension at all. Just breathe and notice whatever you feel. And then we'll take a breath and gently come up. Notice the difference in the feelings through the body. That's what I'm trying to allow you to feel. We're going to swap sides. Bring that right foot in. And you might really like the going from engaged Hatha into that kind of soft release of the yin. So again, flexed foot on the left. Inhale, lovely long spine. Exhale, forward. Arms sort of stretched. The chest is lifted. And as we inhale, we lift. And as we exhale, the chest comes towards the thigh. Try and relax a little bit your right hip if you can feel a little bit tension there in this Hatha style. Notice if your knees are tense as well. Sometimes we can really kind of pull in around the muscles of the knees. Lovely stretch into the right side of our waist. And now just let the flex of this foot relax. Draw the hands back and just soften into a yin style. As you take a deep breath in, on the exhale, any bit of tension that you feel in the body, just see if you can mentally let it go. It always finds its way back in somehow, and it's a constant rotation of awareness to let go. Relax your neck, try and release through your facial muscles. Notice if either shoulder is holding back, and you can just let that go. And we'll just take a few breaths here. When you're ready, just gently lift up. Lie yourself back into Shavasana. That was 3 poses where we've taken the spine forward. So coming down gently. Notice what you feel. What do you feel in your lumbar spine, lower back? Chi and prana moving through the inner thighs and inner legs. How does it feel through your upper back and shoulders? Let's just roll our knees in. Have a little massage. And just to counterpose that curve to the lower spine, I'd like us just to roll over into Sphinx. And again, we're just going to hold this in a way to just let our spine feel the opposite curve. If you've got a block and you want to rest your head for a moment, you can. It's always quite nice. Notice if you are really tense in your buttocks and the lower back. Backs of your thighs perhaps as well. Just see if you can gently soften into this. Draw the awareness to your breath. As you breathe to the belly, you can feel your lower back lift. Keep relaxing buttocks and backs of the thighs. If this is really uncomfortable, just slip the elbows slightly to the side and you tend to lower down a little bit. Keep relaxing that lower back and buttocks. We'll take 2 more breaths. And then just ever so slowly roll over onto your back. Really noticing what you feel even as you move over on your mat. You might notice that your spine feels quite relieved. There's sort of a freshness in that lower part, perhaps. Everyone's different, I know. Let's take a few breaths. Consciously draw the breath as if you're kind of willing it to go to this lower lumbar area, sacral part of the body. And if you need to, just draw your knees in for a nice little rock for a moment. And massage the belly and the back. Just bring your legs back down. Something that I did earlier in the week with my class is Ujjayi breath, but from a lying position. So Ujjayi is the noisy breath that sounds like Darth Vader or like a snoring noise, where we tuck the chin down. So we have that length through the neck. We tuck the chin in and we start to restrict and constrict the airway. So some of you will remember this one. I'll demonstrate and you hopefully hear. So hopefully you can hear that sounds like a real husky sort of snore. And on the inhale and exhale, you may only hear it on one way of the breath, but just close your eyes and we'll do this for a little while. Feels like you're just breathing through your neck rather than your nose. Relax your body. The breath is elongated. Just focusing on the noise of the breath. Just do one more ujjayi. And relax back to a normal breath. And for those of you that want to come to seated for relaxation, you can. Otherwise, you can stay lying down now and pulling a blanket over you. You might even like some warm socks on or support under your knees, eye pillow. But definitely as you lie down, just get a little bit warm. The body temperature always drops. The warmer and more cosy you can be, the less likely your mind will wander to being uncomfortable. So in keeping with the theme of the moon and the moon salutations we did today, this is a little river meditation, so still that water element. As you relax, either seated or lying down, just let everything soften. On every out-breath, it's the opportunity to let go of more muscle tension, anything that you're holding. Visualize a single drop of water, drips of water trickling over a stone. Visualize a stone trough full of water, and now water trickling over the edge. Visualize a raindrop, a few raindrops, and a light summer shower. Visualize rain, a sudden cloudburst, a heavy shower, a downpour, a flash flood. Visualize the clouds gathering and a rumble of thunder, an electric storm. Now take the mind back to the raindrop and imagine it turning to snow, falling as light, soft crystals, little flakes, turning into a snow shower, a blanket of snow, and visualize a white, all white out and thick snowfall. It's heavy. Now visualize the snowflakes turning to hailstones of ice, falling and covering a blanket of snow, forming a thick covering of ice, building up layer upon layer of ice, visualizing maybe a glacier, the hard rock, it's like stone. Imagine a glacier and the trickle of water seeping out at the base. The ice water forms a pool of aquamarine, dense and opaque. It flows away from the glacier over ancient rocks and boulders and forms a huge river, deep and wide, rushing, moving fast, anxious to be away and cutting away the sides of the cliffs and riverbanks, rapids and waterfalls. The noise and spray as the power surge of water rumbles along. And maybe finally imagine how it gushes over the edge of a gorge and celebrates its freedom. Gathering itself together and relaxing, this mountain of water composes itself and transforms into a beautiful wide river, gently holding the sides of the riverbank, releasing into a shape of the riverbed, gliding along and experiencing its own flow now. This new river of ancient water is now beginning its journey down the mountainside. It rumbles and weaves down the mountain, and it warms and clears, embraces the sun rays and rainbows, finding its freedom into a slower moving river. Sometimes it stops in quiet little pools, and other times it continues just to flow gently. This river flows down hills, changing and transforming. It divides and unites. And gently the river turns to tidal. The current and the salt of the ocean merge with the river, making it into a big, vast oneness. And the circle is complete. Just having a few moments now just to sit with those many, many different ways water transforms. Just gently now. You still have time to lie there, but just draw your awareness back to your body. Notice what that last thought was. Can you remember it, or has it escaped you like a dream? And just for a few moments as you still rest, allow your breath to become conscious. Really enjoying just following your breath for maybe half a minute. Noticing everything that moves when you breathe. How calm you feel when you connect to your breath. Grounded, safe. How our emotions can feel quite steady. And ever so gently now you can begin to move your fingers and toes. Staying with your breath just a little bit longer. Conscious of breath and now conscious of movement. If you're lying down, maybe hug the knees in. Every now and then you may want to just take a nice deeper breath and a longer exhale. And when you're ready, you can, in your own time, just gently roll up to seated. Take a moment just though to rock on your back. Come back into your body, into your day. We will chant 3 Oms together. It's very balancing for your throat and your heart. So anything that can be stuck, if you're not speaking your truth, sing, chant, Om, hum, whatever stimulates our throat. Just coming into whatever comfortable seat you can, hands to chin mudra, close your eyes and we'll repeat 3 Oms. So deep inhale. Just allow a moment of silence after your Om. And in drawing your hands together, eyes still closed, really rub your palms so you feel the heat and warmth. And then palm the eyes. Allow the light to come through as you blink and the warmth into the eyes. Draw the hands down to your heart. Om Shanti. Namaste.